Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. If you are an expecting mom, or maybe you're supporting someone who is, you are in exactly the right place today. We're going to take a really structured, evidence-based look at a topic that honestly causes a massive amount of modern anxiety, and that is screen time during pregnancy. To do this, we're drawing directly on the expert insights of Dr. Mamta Pattnayak, an Associate Director of Obstetricians and Gynaecology. And look, I want to set the tone right out of the gate. We are doing this completely without guilt and absolutely without panic. We're just here to find a practical, healthy balance.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a highly practical, reassuring roadmap to follow today to answer your most pressing questions. First, defining screen time. Second, how much is too much? Third, impacts on mom and baby. Fourth, recognizing warning signs. And finally, tips for a healthy balance.
All right, Section 1, defining screen time and what it actually means. And let's just start with a little empathy here. When you're pregnant, you are resting more, your body is working overtime, and it is completely natural to turn to your screens for a little comfort and connection.
But sooner or later, as you're endlessly scrolling through nursery ideas, or maybe doing some late-night research on whether that weird little twinge you just felt is normal, you hit this exact question. Literally every modern expectant mother asks it. How much screen time is actually too much?
Well, to answer that, we first need to define what we're even talking about. Today, screen time encompasses any time you spend using mobile phones, laptops, tablets, or the television. It's not just scrolling social media or binging your favorite shows. It's also working on your laptop or searching for health info. Screens are an inseparable, incredibly useful part of our daily lives. We can't just eliminate them, and honestly, we shouldn't feel bad for using them.
Which brings us to Section 2, how much is too much? Finding the limit. We really need to shift our focus away from just counting the total number of hours you spend online in a day.
Dr. Pattnayak advises a major perspective shift here, and this is absolutely crucial. There is no strict, universally safe number of hours for your whole day. The real concern? Continuous, uninterrupted usage for more than 2 to 3 hours at a stretch without any breaks. The damage doesn't really come from checking your phone for a few minutes here and there. It comes from being locked into a screen, frozen in one spot for hours on end.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 3, impacts on mom and baby, physical and mental. Let's look at how that continuous usage actually ripples through a mother's body and mind. When you lock into a screen for those 2 to 3 hour uninterrupted stretches, it takes a toll. Physically, you're looking at eye strain, dryness, and some serious neck and back pain from poor posture. Plus, sitting too long reduces your physical activity and circulation. I mean, pregnancy already puts so much extra strain on your body. Sitting hunched over a phone for 3 hours just amplifies all those discomforts. Mentally, the blue light from screens actually reduces your sleep hormone, melatonin, leading to fatigue and irritability. And check out that last point, anxiety from information overload. It's this massive irony, right? We turn to the internet to soothe our pregnancy anxieties by looking up symptoms, and all that endless searching actually creates more anxiety.
So, let's directly address the elephant in the room. It's the biggest, most anxiety-inducing question expectant parents have about their digital habits. Can all this screen time actually affect the baby?
And this brilliantly illustrates the reality and hopefully gives you some major relief. When we look at direct harm, it is none. Screens themselves do not emit anything that directly harms your baby, but we have to look at the indirect harm. If your screen time is causing you to sleep poorly, if it's increasing your stress because of information overload, and if it's keeping you from moving and getting healthy circulation, that indirect cascade is what can affect your pregnancy. A healthy baby relies on a healthy, well-rested mom.
Let's jump into Section 4, recognizing warning signs and when to rebalance. How do we actually know if our digital habits have crossed the line from a helpful comfort to a harmful routine?
Dr. Pattnayak outlines several key warning signs. And let's be real, we have all been there with a few of these. If you're tossing and turning with difficulty falling asleep, if you're getting frequent tension headaches or tired, dry eyes, maybe you close your browser after reading about pregnancy symptoms and you actually feel more anxious than when you started. Or you sit down to check one quick email and suddenly realize you've been sitting for long hours without moving, spending way more time online than you ever planned. These are your body's check engine lights flashing.
Most of the time, those signs just mean you need to tweak your habits. But it's super important to know when to escalate this. Please consult your doctor if your sleep becomes severely disturbed, if that anxiety feels constant, if you're dealing with persistent physical pain, or if your screen use is actually affecting your normal daily routine.
Section 5, Tips for Healthy Balance.
let's transition from those warning signs into a really simple, highly actionable roadmap for making adjustments.
First up, we have a fantastic, catchy little tool to prevent physical discomfort, the 20-20-20 rule. It is incredibly simple. Step 1, every 20 minutes of screen time. Step 2, look at something about 20 feet away. Step 3, hold that focus for 20 seconds. Taking these tiny, regular 20-second breaks interrupts that continuous usage we warned about earlier. It resets your eye muscles and literally forces you to check in with your posture.
Next, we absolutely have to tackle the sleep issue. To protect your melatonin levels and actually improve your sleep quality, you want to establish a strict evening routine. Aim to stop using all screens 1 full hour before bed. By creating that 60-minute screen-free buffer, you're telling your brain, hey, it's nighttime, letting your natural sleep hormones take over so you can sleep peacefully without that blue light interference.
But you can't just take away a habit like scrolling without replacing it with something else. When you create that screen-free time, Dr. Pattnayak recommends swapping it out for healthier, relaxing alternatives. Pick up a physical book, try some gentle stretching or prenatal yoga, go for a nice walk. Or, honestly, just close your eyes and listen to some calming music or an engaging podcast or audio explainer.
Now, we totally have to acknowledge that many expecting moms simply cannot avoid screens because it's their job. If you work on screens all day, you have to be proactive. Maintain proper posture. Treat yourself to a comfortable chair. Take those frequent breaks using that 20-20-20 rule. Turn on the blue light filters on your devices. And please, keep a glass of water nearby and stay hydrated.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly sums up our entire explainer today. The goal is balance, not restriction. You definitely don't need to throw your phone out the window, but as Dr. Pattnayak wisely notes, taking care of yourself is the best way to take care of your baby. If putting the phone down for just an hour makes you sleep better and feel less stressed, your baby benefits directly from that. So I'm going to leave you with this to think about. What is one small 20-second habit you can change literally right now to bring a little more balance into your day? Think about it, give it a try, and we'll see you in the next explainer.